Hey, good morning, folks. I'm Live Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa with the MLive Morning Weather Update. Hopefully you're having a great Friday morning. Deb Locke is tuning in to see what kind of shirt I have on today. Is it a tropical shirt? Is it a heavy flannel shirt? It's in between, just what I could find in the closet. We're going to go over the storm system for the weekend. I don't think most of us in Lower Michigan will call it a snowstorm with just a couple of inches of snow now in the heart of winter in January. But it's slick roads nonetheless. We also have to look at the colder air starting to come back and settling in. And I'm just preparing everybody. I prepare my wife, first. I say, hey, you know what? Guess what? Last 2 weeks of January and probably a couple of weeks into February, gonna be pretty much true Michigan winter weather. Not the harshest ever, but we've gotten a little bit winter soft, wouldn't you agree? Over the years, since things have been a little bit milder at times. We start with this. Yeah, Carl points this out, very windy. So there's a wind advisory in effect for all of Lower Michigan and the eastern part of the UP. In effect, till 4 this afternoon, you could have gusts out in the open areas to 45 miles an hour still. We had some gusts to 45 miles an hour overnight, so I think our strongest wind gusts are over, but it will be kind of a very unpleasant, windy type day. Now, here is the big story on the storm system coming. And the reason why I wanted to show you this is because it shows how the storm is kind of not really put together. It has all of the components that would make it a real snowstorm in Michigan, but they're kind of separated. So see that bright cloudiness from Texas through the Gulf Coast, southeastern states? That is the heavy plume of moisture feed, and it's angled toward the East Coast where half of the storm will kind of transfer over to. And then the storm system is down in the southwest, and there's another one up in the northwest, and those are coming at us. So kind of a complex situation. If it were all to gel, it would be a major winter storm, but it's going to be just on the verge of gelling. So let's start with our radar forecast off of the high resolution rapid refresh. Remember this one, we like it out to about 36 hours, but it seems to stick with what everything else is showing. So here's today, 11 o'clock, noon, 1 o'clock, and 2 o'clock. So basically across, northern Lower Michigan and the Grand Rapids area, you'll have some rain showers, maybe mixed with some wet snow in Traverse City for a couple of hours now through early afternoon. And then by 2 o'clock, it's pretty well all done and on to the east. So I really would not say there are really any major travel problems today other than the wind, and you can always find a slick spot in the north and the snow. Now, the next storm system, so this is 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. We may have snow, maybe even, I don't know if we get an early leading edge of freezing drizzle, but it's possible. And then this is 10, 11, noon. So as we go through the morning, the snow will be developing. The snow looks fairly robust for a couple of hours in the southern half of the state. This is tomorrow afternoon and into 6 o'clock in the evening. So if you're traveling tomorrow, my suggestion would be get on it early, 8, 9 o'clock. Get to where you're going by 11 or noon, and then the snow develops. It will be treacherous in the afternoon, even though it's not what we would in the end call a big snowstorm. And then we get dry slotted, which cuts the amounts too. A major snowstorm doesn't usually contain a dry slot because the dry slot is hours where you go without much accumulation. So this dry slot comes in tomorrow evening. This is 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the evening. and we go to spurts of snow showers with northern lower maybe staying in a more steady snow. And then as we go through the night, Saturday night to Sunday morning, all of this kind of collapses southeast in the form of a few hours of snow showers, transitions over to a couple of hours of lake effect on the west side of the state along the shoreline, and then comes to an end. So again, just trying to give you the idea that this is a rather disjointed storm system. So total snowfall. Now, I don't get it all the way through because I want to use the high resolution model, but this would be the total snowfall through Sunday morning. Detroit, Ann Arbor, an inch. Flint, an inch. Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, an inch. Grand Rapids, maybe 2, 3, 4 inches by the time it's all done midday Sunday. And then you got your streaks of the northern half of lower Michigan, let's call it a 3 to 5 inch snow, and a couple of patches of 6 and 7 inches you see there. So snowstorm? Not really. Now, let's look out into the future with our European model in the ensemble mode to see what we have coming for next week. And so here's our showers this afternoon, winds down, and then we go into tomorrow. This is tomorrow morning into early afternoon, the storm trying to gel, but you see the moisture more off to the south and east. And then this is tomorrow afternoon into evening, tomorrow night, and then this is towards Sunday morning, and morning into Sunday afternoon, everything winds down, comes to an end. And our next storm in the horizon, not real put together, but Tuesday into Wednesday. And this could represent the Arctic front by Wednesday afternoon with a northeast wind turning colder. And then we transition into real winter for probably about a month or so. Let's see. So here's the European model's snowfall forecast. And again, it's a little bit heavier to the south. It's been off a little bit. This seems a little bit too heavy, but again, the idea is 3 to 6 inches north, 1 to 3 inches south half. Okay, so here's the surface temperature anomaly forecast. So we get to look out into the future, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Hey there, Mike Light. Yeah, the fear-mongering in weather. Here's what I battle every day. Let me just give you a little mini rant. Weather data is accessible by everybody. Some of this stuff I pay for just to see a little bit more in-depth stuff, and it's not expensive. My cost on weather data for the month, $20. So everybody can see it. Everybody that is a weather enthusiast is usually a storm enthusiast. So they find the heaviest snow panel and post it. And you see how I do it. So yeah, hopefully you accept the fact that I and MLive try to be accurate. That's our main thing. Accurate. And yes, we want page views, but we go over the headlines all the time. Is this misleading or what? Like, I'm going to have a headline here very shortly, and me and my editor, my boss, have already talked about this. I like this headline. It will grab attention. I'm going to talk about the Great Lakes water levels, and the Great Lakes, Lake Michigan and Huron went down 4 inches in the last month, which is kind of normal for this time of the year. It's an inch or two more than normal. That's I got it figured out to 3.2 trillion gallons lost. So that's going to be my headline. And I'll probably catch some flack for, wow, that's fear-mongering. And then I'll explain it in the post. All right, back to the surface temperature anomaly. Sorry about that. And of course, here's Monday and Tuesday. These are surface temperature anomalies. So we are going to be warmer than normal Monday and Tuesday, but that means in the 30s. And then you'll start to notice the colder air trying to take shape as we get to the 17th, 18th, 19th of January. And then it starts to become bigger. And we've seen this trend January 21st, 22nd, 23rd, trending toward below normal temperatures by 5 or 10 degrees. That puts us with highs of 20. Morning lows, single digits to 10. And it puts us in the heart of the cold, in the heart of winter. I always like that because I feel like we get about a month's worth of this stuff, and then you go to mid-February and it breaks, and it's probably having the cold right in the middle of winter, in my experience, is one of the best ways to have a quote-unquote early spring. All right, so today we are very mild. Very warm, then a little bit colder tomorrow. And still note temperatures in mid to upper 30s, so I still think there's some mixture of rain in there in Ann Arbor and Detroit, which again keeps those snowfall totals down. Sunday, high in the upper 20s. Monday back to the 30s. Tuesday, maybe a 40-degree rating, well above freezing a lot of places. Then here's Wednesday, and then I showed you that northeast wind. Thursday could have highs in the teens, and Friday. So after about Wednesday, I'd say it's going to feel more like winter than abnormal warmth to you. So there's your update. I'm going to give you an update on the storm system tomorrow morning. I don't anticipate many changes, just maybe fine-tunings of who gets 6 inches, who gets 3 inches, who gets an inch, something like that. And to stay safe, if you don't want to deal with wintry roads, you drive early Saturday, 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning before the snow develops and the mixture, or you wait until noonish on Sunday and Sunday afternoon when it all comes to an end. There's your weather update from me, Mark Torregrossa. We made it through the first week of work together in this 2026. Have yourselves a great weekend. You'll see me a little bit, but not a ton. That's a sign it's not a major snowstorm. Take care.